In 1959, a 78-year-old psychologist sat down for a BBC interview and described the future with terrifying accuracy. He described people becoming extensions of their machines. He described a world where the individual disappears into the crowd. He described you, right now, reading this on a screen you can't put down. Carl Jung predicted the age of artificial intelligence 65 years before it arrived. And the most disturbing part, the danger he warned about, isn't what you think. It's not that machines will replace us. It's that we will willingly give ourselves away, piece by piece, thought by thought, until there's nothing left that's truly ours. By the end of this video, I'll reveal the one sentence Jung said in that interview that reads like it was written yesterday, about a technology he couldn't have imagined. Machines' minds control. But first, you need to understand what Jung saw coming, and why almost nobody listened. Picture this, London, 1959. The world is still recovering from two devastating wars. Television is a novelty. Computers fill entire rooms, and a white-haired Swiss psychologist looks directly into a BBC camera and says something that should have stopped the world in its tracks. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself. The interviewer, John Freeman, pressed him further. Jung didn't flinch. He described a world where individuals would lose themselves in what he called mass-mindedness, where people would stop thinking for themselves and surrender their inner lives to external systems. Systems that think for them, choose for them, tell them what to want. Now Jung was talking about propaganda, about political movements, about the Cold War threat of nuclear annihilation. But here's what's extraordinary. Every single mechanism he described, every psychological danger he identified, maps perfectly onto something he never could have predicted. The rise of artificial intelligence, algorithmic feeds, and a generation that has outsourced its thinking to machines. And the reason his warning still matters isn't historical. It's because the psychological vulnerability he identified hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten worse, far worse. But this next concept, this is the engine behind everything Jung feared. He used a term that sounds almost quaint today: mass-mindedness. The tendency of individuals to dissolve into the collective and lose their capacity for independent thought. Think about what that actually means. It doesn't mean people become stupid. It means they stop doing the work of thinking. They adopt the opinions of the group. They feel what the group feels. They want what the group wants. And they do this unconsciously, believing every borrowed thought is their own. Jung watched it happen in Nazi Germany. He watched rational, educated, cultured people surrender their individuality to a collective psychosis. Crowd psychosis. And he warned that the same mechanism exists in every human being, waiting to be activated. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. When was the last time you held an opinion that was genuinely unpopular among the people you follow online? When was the last time you disagreed with your entire feed? If you're recognizing this pattern in yourself right now, hit like and subscribe to keep exploring the depths of your psyche with me. Because what comes next reveals exactly how this ancient vulnerability has been weaponized by technology Jung never imagined. Now forget everything you think you know about technology addiction, because Jung saw something deeper than addiction. He saw identity dissolution. In that 1959 interview, Jung described how modern people were becoming, and I quote, appendages of their own inventions. He said this about automobiles and televisions. Imagine what he would say about a device you carry in your pocket that knows your fears, your desires, your insecurities, and uses them to keep you scrolling. Appendages. That word hits differently now, because what does it mean to be an appendage? It means you are no longer the center. The machine is the center. You are the extension, the tool, the peripheral. Think about your morning. What's the first thing you do? Before you check in with yourself, before you ask how you feel or what you need, you reach for a screen. You check what happened while you were unconscious. You immediately plug yourself back into the machine. Jung would argue that in that moment, you've made a choice about who you are, and you didn't even notice you were choosing. But here's where it gets truly disturbing, because the mechanism Jung described goes even deeper than habit. Stop and think about this for a second. Jung's entire life's work was about one thing, the unconscious. He believed that beneath your conscious mind lies an enormous reservoir of wisdom, creativity, memory, and meaning. He called it the gateway to the self with a capital S. The unconscious is not just the basement of the mind, it is the foundation of who you are. And here was his deepest fear, that modern life would cut people off from this inner world entirely, not through violence, not through oppression, through distraction, through noise, through an endless stream of external stimulation that leaves no room for the inner voice to speak. Distraction, noise, silence, lost. Every moment you spend consuming content, scrolling feeds, reacting to notifications, you are filling the space where your unconscious would speak. Dreams, intuitions, creative impulses, feelings you can't name but desperately need to feel. These require silence. They require what Jung called active imagination. They require you to sit with yourself in the uncomfortable quiet. And here's the devastating truth. We have built an entire civilization designed to make sure that never happens. The algorithm doesn't want you quiet, it wants you engaged. And engagement, in psychological terms, means disconnection from everything that makes you genuinely you. If you thought that was disturbing, you're not ready for this, because Jung's concept of the shadow takes on an entirely new meaning in the age of AI. Jung defined the shadow as the parts of yourself you refuse to acknowledge, your jealousy, your rage, your pettiness, your secret desires. In a healthy psyche, you integrate these parts, you face them, you make them conscious. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. But algorithms have created something unprecedented in human history, a shadow that feeds itself. Here's how it works. You watch a video that triggers your anger. The algorithm notices you engaged longer. It serves you more content that triggers anger. Your shadow, the part of you that craves outrage and conflict, is being fed directly, bypassing your conscious mind entirely. 1. You engage with emotional content. 2. The algorithm detects the pattern. 3. It feeds you more of the same. 4. Your shadow grows without your awareness. You're not choosing to become angrier, more anxious, more polarized. Your shadow is being cultivated by a system that profits from your unconsciousness. Jung warned about forces that exploit the darkness in human nature. He just didn't know those forces would be made of code, and what comes next makes this look like the beginning. Let me pause here because this next part changes the entire picture. We've talked about distraction. We've talked about the shadow being fed. But there's a third layer to Jung's warning that is unfolding right now, in real time, and almost nobody is talking about it. We are outsourcing the very act of thinking itself to artificial intelligence. Not just answers, not just calculations, thinking. When you ask an AI to write your email, summarize your meeting, plan your week, generate your ideas, you are not saving time. You are atrophying the muscle that makes you human. Atrophy human mind. Jung understood that consciousness is not a passive state. It's an achievement. It requires effort. It requires what he called the individuation process, the lifelong work of becoming who you truly are. And individuation demands that you struggle with your own thoughts, that you wrestle with confusion, that you endure the discomfort of not knowing until understanding emerges from within. Every time you let a machine think for you, you skip that struggle, and you skip the growth that comes with it. You become, in Jung's exact words, an appendage. But the real question is, can we reverse this? And that answer lies in something Jung said that almost nobody remembers. Now, what I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but it's the key to everything. Jung's entire psychology revolves around one central process: individuation, the journey of becoming a complete, integrated, authentic self. It is the hardest thing a human being can do, and it requires exactly what modern technology is designed to prevent. Individuation demands that you turn inward when the entire world is pulling you outward. Think about what individuation actually requires. First, confronting your shadow, the parts of yourself you'd rather not see. Second, withdrawing projections, stopping the habit of blaming others for what lives inside you. Third, developing a relationship with your unconscious through dreams, reflection, and solitude. Fourth, finding your own meaning, not the meaning society hands you. Shadow, dreams, solitude, meaning. Now look at that list and tell me how any of it is possible when you spend 5 to 7 hours a day on a screen that is algorithmically designed to keep you externally focused, emotionally reactive, and psychologically fragmented. The technology itself is not evil, but the way we surrender to it is the exact opposite of individuation. Jung didn't predict smartphones, but he predicted the psychological conditions that would make smartphones devastating, and what he predicted next is even more chilling. Here's where the story takes a dark turn, because Jung didn't just warn about individuals losing themselves. He warned about entire civilizations going insane. He had a term for it: psychic epidemic. Indeed, it is becoming ever more obvious that it is not famine, not earthquakes, not microbes, not cancer, but man himself, who is man's greatest danger. Jung studied how mass movements capture the psyche, how propaganda works not by convincing the rational mind, but by activating the unconscious, by triggering archetypes, primal fears, tribal instincts, and he warned that when individuals stop doing their inner work, the collective shadow grows unchecked. Epidemic. Now look at the world today. Political polarization at levels not seen since the 1930s. Conspiracy theories spreading faster than facts. Entire populations trapped in algorithmic echo chambers that reinforce their worst impulses. The psychic epidemic Jung warned about is not coming. It's already here. And here's the part that should keep you up at night. AI doesn't just accelerate this process. AI can now generate the propaganda. It can create deepfakes, synthetic voices, fabricated evidence. It can manufacture reality. Jung warned about a world where people couldn't distinguish their own thoughts from the thoughts of the mass. Now we face a world where people can't distinguish reality from fabrication. And that makes the next revelation absolutely critical. This is the one that kept me up at night. Remember the open loop from the beginning, the one sentence from that 1959 interview that reads like it was written yesterday. Here it is. When John Freeman asked Jung what he thought would happen to the world, Jung paused, looked into the camera, and said, "We are the origin of all coming evil. Not technology, not machines, not artificial intelligence. Us, we are the danger. Because every system we build, every algorithm we create, every AI we train reflects what is inside us. Our unconscious biases become coded into machine learning. Our shadow gets amplified through social media. Our refusal to do inner work doesn't just harm us anymore. It harms the entire digital ecosystem. Artificial intelligence is not the crisis, it is the mirror, showing us the crisis that was always there." Jung understood that the external world is always a projection of the internal world. If our machines are manipulative, it's because we are manipulative. If our algorithms exploit weakness, it's because we exploit weakness. If AI threatens humanity, it's because something in humanity has been threatening itself all along. Mirror truth, evil origin. Do you think Jung was right that the danger is us, or do you think the technology itself has become something beyond our control? Comment origin if you believe it starts with us. Comment machine if you believe we've lost control. I want to know what you think. So where does this leave us? If Jung is right, if the danger truly comes from within, then the solution must also come from within. And it does. Jung spent his entire career pointing to the same answer. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Individuation, the commitment to knowing yourself, not the version of you that the algorithm has constructed, not the opinions you've absorbed from your feed, not the identity you perform for likes and validation. The real you, the one that exists in silence, the one that dreams, the one that feels things you can't explain and knows things you can't prove. Real self within. The antidote to the AI crisis is not better regulation, though we need that. It's not deleting your apps, though that might help. The antidote is the oldest prescription in psychology. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Every minute you spend in genuine self-reflection is a minute the algorithm cannot reach you. Every dream you write down is a conversation with a part of yourself that no machine can replicate. Every uncomfortable truth you face about yourself makes you less susceptible to the forces that want to think for you. Jung predicted the AI crisis, but he also predicted the cure. And it starts with you right now in this moment, choosing consciousness over convenience. If you made it this far, comment awake if you're choosing to do the inner work. Welcome to the Psyche Project.